All right, Liz. Well, I've got 3 or 4 minutes after. What do you say we go ahead and get started?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to the YK Connect and Protect Lunch and Learn web series, our April edition. I'm glad to have you here. We'll go ahead and get started. But before we do, so the topic today we've got, Liz, spring tech projects for your home. When everybody thinks of spring, everybody thinks it's a time for spring cleaning and kind of getting some things updated around the house, outside of the house, that sort of thing. What are your thoughts on spring, Liz? What's your favorite season of the year? Is it spring?
Definitely, I would say my favorite is probably more fall. The spring allergies are not kind to me. I do like the weather, but sometimes the extra that comes with the weather isn't always the most fun.
I hear you. I like spring. I feel like coming out of the nasty cold winter, there's that we get about 2 to 3 weeks that if you have a convertible, it would be a great time to put the top down and go out for a ride. And before it gets to that, 3-digit scorching heat that we get down here. But yeah, I'm with you. The yellow film on the vehicles and the pollen is not being nice to me right now. So I could do without that part of spring for sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about spring today, getting some things ready for outside for summer, spring, and also just some things you can do inside the house to kind of get things ready for the tech and do some spring cleaning in the house. Today we're going to talk a lot about outdoor Wi-Fi and kind of bringing that connectivity outside of the four walls of your home and taking it out to, the backyard, around the pool, and even as far as the barn out back. So we're going to talk about those kind of things. But before we jump into everything, obviously, you know me, I'm Russell Kotcher, Elizabeth Gert. You know us. We hope you love us. And if you're back, you from a previous event, you know how this goes down. Liz and I are going to cover a variety of topics and share some personal insights, some education, and get you ready for those spring projects. The agenda today looks really long, although this may be one of our shorter webinars, but we're going to talk about the importance of a connected home. We're going to talk about the outdoor Wi-Fi projects, some other spring tech upgrades that you can do in the outdoor space. Then Liz, you're going to talk a little bit about the indoor spring refresh with some tech around the house. We've got a spring safety reminder for you. And then just like every one of our events, we're going to talk about how you can get access to YK's team for support, just support in general, and the things that we're talking about in the session today. We're going to save time for Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, go ahead and put those in the chat. We'll answer them as they come up, or we'll keep those till the end of the webinar and answer those, but we'll definitely get them answered for you. And we'll do our promotional offering. We've always got a promotional offering available for you guys that attend live on these events. We'll talk about our next upcoming event in May, and then we will finish out with a gift card drawing and see who gets lunch on us today. So let's jump in, Liz. And before we do, let's launch that first poll question. So, are you currently using or planning to use any applications that require Wi-Fi connectivity in an outdoor space? So tell us if yes, I'm currently using Wi-Fi in the outdoor space, not yet, but I'm planning to, no, and I have no interest in it, not making any plans for it, or I don't even know what I've got. So we'll give that just a minute to come in there. All right. And let's go ahead. I'm going to end the poll and share the results. And what do you think, Liz? We actually have 63% of the attendees today that are already using Wi-Fi in the outdoor space. And for those that don't have it yet, they're planning to add that. So that's great. I think that it's just kind of getting to be a common thing that you want to take that connectivity outside for some of the things that we're going to talk about today. But that's exciting to see for those that don't have it yet. They definitely want to plan on it. We don't have anybody anti-outdoor Wi-Fi, so that's a good thing. All right, so let's jump in. So the importance of a connected home. So basically, a connected home is going to be anything that uses internet-enabled devices to manage and automate home functions. Some of the things that are pretty common for a connected home, you're going to see things around lighting, thermostats, temperature control, security, and just pure entertainment, things for streaming or gaming, that sort of a thing. But for all of those different things to work, kind of the backbone for all of those smart devices, it's going to be a strong, reliable internet connection. And like I've already started talking about, Liz, we want to see that outside of the four walls of the home. People want to be able to take that out to the backyard, the patio, the garage, the barn, that sort of a thing. I know that, we're preparing for spring and looking ahead for your favorite season of the year, fall. That's when we get around to football. And, we saw last year for fall of 2024 a lot of requests for connectivity for barns to have barn parties to stream those football games, kind of taking advantage of those cooler evenings when we get into the fall. So, we've already got a good group of our service area that really understands that and wants that in their outdoor space. Um, so let's go ahead and jump in and, like I said, kind of talking about the bulk of what we're going to talk about today, those outdoor Wi-Fi projects. So Liz, why don't you talk a little bit about outdoor Wi-Fi?
Awesome, Russell. So yeah, today the outdoor Wi-Fi is really the star of the show today. As the weather warms up, everybody spends a lot more time outside. I know I do. It's a lot nicer to be outside in 80-degree weather versus being outside in 40-degree weather. Everything's blooming, the flowers are beautiful. It's just a lot nicer to be outside this time of year.
Well, this
So,
is the time of year, Liz, that you and I are either text messaging or Snapchatting pictures of back in that yard, got that
yep,
fresh cut on that yard, and the
yep.
flowers are looking great. So we do like that part of spring, don't we?
Yes, the yard looks great, I know for me, every time I'm outside in the yard working, I stream music
Yep.
24/7 doing that. So that's really important to me. A lot of people watch movies outside on their back porch or patio. I have a huge vinyl privacy fence, and I actually have a projector that we can drag out there in the summertime and watch movies and the big screen on the fence. So that's kind of neat. All of that is based on Wi-Fi. You have to have good coverage. So not just for those type of fun things, also if you have security cameras. Most of the time your security cameras are going to be on the outside of your home, spread out across the whole area, or you might want to be capturing footage, at a gate or an entrance that's kind of farther away from the house. You're going to need a good Wi-Fi signal for that, for those wireless cameras. So that kind of brings us into some of the challenges that we see from customers regularly, and that is a weak signal outside the main area of the home. Your standard router is designed to cover the interior of your home, but you have a lot of other different factors that play in whenever you're trying to get the signal outside. It's hard to get through those exterior walls with that signal. So there may be dead zones in the backyard, or interference from the exterior walls of the home. So here at YK, we offer a lot of solutions for that. Um, there's a couple of different options out there. There's Wi-Fi extenders and there's mesh networks. So with YK, we are strictly using mesh networks. Wireless extenders just repeat the existing signal you have. It's not really making it a seamless connection. There's more room for error with those. Whereas a mesh system, it's great for a large area, and it creates a seamless network. You don't have multiple Wi-Fi names and you know different networks you have to connect to. You're going to have one network at your home, and it's going to follow you throughout the property, and you're not going to have any disconnects. So,
Yeah, and I think one of the other important things to talk about, Liz, is and why we use everything that we use is a mesh setup here at YK. Those extenders, every time you jump from one to another for the extender, you lose about half of your bandwidth on those jumps, and so that doesn't happen with those mesh units. So just to keep that speed that you're paying for, that bandwidth that you're paying for, you want to be able to get it across your entire property, not just at the router and start losing that speed once you get further out. So that's definitely something to consider whenever going with the mesh systems versus just getting those extenders you can pick up at a local store.
Right. Everything we have here at YK is going to be a high quality, very good product as far as extending the signal throughout your home and outside of your home. So currently, I have extenders outside and inside of the house. I live in an older home that's been remodeled, so there's a lot of walls you got to get through. Different things cause interference, so we need that extra coverage. The outdoor access points that we do offer for that good backyard coverage, they are weather resistant, and YK professionally installs them. So you have, you know, professional installation whenever you go through YK for those. We're there for troubleshooting. We're there from start to finish and everything in between whenever you need help with those devices. So another big point to look at is inside the home. You want your router to be in a centralized location, if at all possible. It's going to give you the absolutely best signal that you can get whenever it's in a central area and also not behind a cabinet. You don't want to have a cabinet door blocking off that signal. It's going to reduce it and it's going to be a bad experience for you. So, the other big thing is not everybody has outlets outside. So if you don't have a power outlet outside, we have a solution for that too. We offer a hardwire power over Ethernet option where we wire your access point back to your router, and that's how it's powered also. So you're not having to have plugs outside that might accidentally get unplugged, or, power goes out, you have an issue. So everything is hardwired back to the router and it's a very clean installation process.
Absolutely. And, I'll just go ahead and tout us a little bit, Liz, when you're talking about positioning of your router. I think so many times that a lot of other providers come in and they want to put the router in the easiest place to install it, which a lot of times it's on an exterior wall of your home and it's not a centralized location. So I know that we've got a lot of folks that have come over to YK that have been with other providers, that their router was in one corner of the house where it was easy for the technician to install, rather than looking for a centralized location that's going to give the customer the best experience to have Wi-Fi coverage over the entire home. So that's an important part of that. But just something else for you and I to talk about here a little bit. The things that you're talking about are kind of technical and probably things that most people don't know. I know if I wasn't necessarily working in the industry, I probably wouldn't know the difference between a Wi-Fi extender and a mesh setup, just going to the store to pick those up. There's a lot of things we're talking about, positioning those devices, which ones are the right fit. Do I need power here? Do I not? I think that the best thing for us to talk about is that, when you work with YK, you don't have to know all of that stuff. We'll take care of it for you. I know whenever the technicians go out, they've got a lot of tools that they can walk around a home and analyze that signal strength. They can make those recommendations. And so I know for a lot of people, it can be a very daunting task as to what do I need? Where do I need it? How do I use it? How do I set it up? And I think that's probably one of the number one benefits with partnering with someone like YK. We can be your technology partner and just take care of all that for you.
Right. And we do a free Wi-Fi analysis. So we will come out for no charge at all just to take a look and see what we can do to help you. So that's another great thing. You just call us and we'll schedule that for you for one of our technicians to come out and kind of go over the best options available for you, and go from there.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's keep rolling along here. We'll talk about some other spring tech upgrades. So a lot of the things that, here, Liz, you were talking about of why you would need outdoor Wi-Fi. And we've talked, about a lot of these, but, some of the examples we talk about smart outdoor lighting. These are things that you can set on timers, you can have motion activated, but just to have those lights come on and off the way that you want them. And I know you and I were talking about yesterday when we were on site filming one of our YK videos, those lights that string across the backyard. I think you said that they look rich.
They look rich.
So when you've got that backyard party out there and you're blasting that yacht rock playlist out there, make sure you got your lighting on point. And you want all that to be able to have that by motion or schedule that, and you want to have the connectivity to make that happen.
Right.
Some of
The
the
string
other,
lights are where it's at.
absolutely. Especially once you can even change the color and that sort of
Yep.
thing. So solar powered lights that you have app controls over, and then all of those integrating with those smart devices like, Alexa, Siri, Google Assistants, that sort of thing. So everything around lighting is super important, from not only an entertaining standpoint, but security as well. Smart irrigation systems. I think a lot of the things that we talk about with tech, a lot of it has that convenience factor. I'm sitting on the back porch. I can, open the app and I can turn the lights on or off. And like we're talking about change the color. But a lot of it too, the technology is to help with efficiency. And so talking about smart irrigation systems, when you've got those smart devices that are controlling those sprinkler systems, it's going to be able to tap into some of the weather applications and to cancel watering if they know that there's a high probability of rain that day. The other thing, just, if you're away and out of town and, maybe we've got the triple digit heat like we're used to, and you want to add an extra watering in so you come back to that nice green lawn, you've got complete control over those smart irrigation systems just to save water, reduce bills, and make sure you don't come back to a burn up yard because nobody wants that.
No.
And then last, just that outdoor entertainment. You were talking about speakers, whether you're, streaming from a smart device and you've got the earbuds in, or maybe you've got, some nice outdoor speaker systems and you want to be able to stream music across the entire backyard. Things like you were talking about with the projectors. I've done a little bit of that too, whether you've got a projector, you're projecting on a screen or a fence. Maybe you've got smart TVs that are out under the covered patio, but making sure you've got all the connectivity you need for music streaming. And I'm guessing you could probably even take a gaming system outside and
Mhm.
have some fun with the kids, with Xbox or Switch or that sort of thing. And then, you kind of hit on it too, security enhancements. To have those smart doorbells, those outdoor cameras, and get those real-time alerts, you've got to have that connectivity out there. And you bring up a good point. You talked about those gate sensors and outdoor sheds. We've worked with customers before that maybe it doesn't alarm, but they've got their gate sensor tied into their YK security system just so that they get a chime inside the house when that gate opens, and who's coming and going inside and out the gate. So those are all things that you need that connectivity for, and take advantage of that outdoor Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also, we've had a lot of requests, especially since back when we had, I guess it was Snowmageddon 21, generators. Generators now connect to Wi-Fi.
That's
So if
right.
you get a generator in your home, your internet doesn't reach. We have helped a lot of people get that taken care of. So that's another big thing nowadays. Generators are becoming more and more popular.
Yep. And probably not a bad idea to mention as we are not too far from hurricane season.
Yes,
But
exactly.
let's not talk about that, okay?
No, uh-uh.
Okay. Well, let's jump over and talk a little bit about, we've talked a lot about outdoor Wi-Fi and, all the devices you can use in that space. Liz, you want to talk a little bit about some of the indoor things for spring?
Of course, of course. So I feel like this is one of the areas that I am very, very savvy with. I have all of the smart lights and the smart plugs for my outlets for certain things. That's something you can do, and it also adds a lot of efficiency. So you're saving electricity by having those lights come on automatically and then shut off. Nobody's leaving the light switch on and leaving the lights on all night long. They're going off on their own. Another thing is sensors. So I have a sensor on my water heater that's going to tell me if there's a leak, or you can have one on your AC drain. Smoke detectors. We do all of that. So if you get a security system with YK, you have access to all kinds of features, not just for your standard door sensors and motions. You can have those sensors for heat and water leaks, all of that good stuff. It really helps too, because if I had an issue where my water heater leaked and I was gone and I didn't know about it, think of
Right.
the anxiety and stress that would be there when you come back home. So at least you can catch it and prevent yourself from having extra damage in the long run. So
Absolutely.
another thing is, just organizing, getting rid of those old cables that you don't need anymore. Organizing your cables on your counters. I love wireless charging stations, so that's what I use at my house. I can charge my watch, my phone, AirPods all on one station. Put one on the nightstand, put one, in the kitchen, wherever you're normally at. Those really help out a lot. And make everything look nicer and more organized.
Because Liz, if any of our participants are into organization and keeping things clean and organized, you're speaking our language. Liz, that's
Yes.
top priority for Liz and I. Whether it's rearranging
Yes.
and organizing the fridge, a cabinet,
Hmm.
whatever. We're little OCD on that, aren't we,
Hmm.
Liz?
Hits me right in the soul.
I know. I feel you. I feel you on that. So, while let's go ahead and launch our second poll here. And I lost that. Give me 1 second. Back. All right. So poll number 2, while Liz and I kind of chat about our favorite devices, um, which tech project is blooming for you this spring? What are you thinking? Upgrading Wi-Fi because you need faster internet, and that means everybody's happier, expanding that outdoor coverage and really taking advantage of that outdoor space, or maybe boosting cybersecurity and keeping the hackers out? And or maybe rolling out new smart devices. Maybe you've already got the connectivity, but you're going to add some of those devices that we've talked about, or you're all set, you're just going to soak up some sun. While that's finishing, and they're answering that, Liz, why don't we talk about some of our favorites? You were talking about the sensors, and I still think one of my favorite smart sensors, just having control of lights indoor from a security standpoint, whether I'm home or not, kind of giving that perception that there's someone in the home turning lights on or off, and there's someone there on a regular basis.
Yes, I went on vacation a couple of weeks ago, and the whole week it looked normal, like business as usual, because the porch light was going on and off at a normal time. The inside kitchen lights were coming on and off, so it really can kind of deter people from thinking you're gone by doing that,
Right.
and they're very inexpensive too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at the results of our poll question. And we're kind of all over the place. So 25% said they look like they're going to be upgrading their internet speed to keep everybody happy. We've got 25% says that they're going to expand that outdoor Wi-Fi coverage. 38% is looking at cybersecurity. So definitely important to folks keeping hackers out and keeping that network safe. And we've got 13% that are just going to roll out smart devices. They've already got the coverage and the speed, going to take advantage of it.
Great. And if you're a YK customer for internet, you can get our Protect IQ feature for the cybersecurity, to prevent against malware, web intrusions, threats at the network level for only $5 a month. That's a pretty good savings versus having to get your computer cleaned up, or having your devices compromised. So it's a
Absolutely. I
great
think if
thing.
there's any service that we have, Liz, that's kind of a set it and forget it, it's that
Yes.
one for Protect IQ and cybersecurity.
It definitely is. And once you get it and you actually get those alerts that things are happening, I went and got on, I think it was either Facebook or one of my social media accounts, and an ad popped up and it immediately it said there was a threat and blocked it. If I wouldn't have had
Yep.
the service, I would have never known. So it's
Right.
running in the background and it's just taking care of business.
Absolutely. So, spring safety reminder, we always like to remind folks this time of year about calling 811 and call before you dig. So, if you're doing any spring projects around the house, if you're working with a contractor, typically they know to do this, whether you're putting in a pool or a fence, doing any major work where you'd have to dig. You want to make sure that one, you keep yourself safe. And number two, you don't cut a line or hit something that is going to affect your neighbors, because you don't want to be that guy. But we did a pretty fun video on that last year about this time, and it's on our YouTube channel if you want to check that out. We worked some humor into that. I think that was you and Manny that did that one, Liz, right?
Right.
Yeah, but even if you're gonna do some extensive work in the flower beds, put in a garden, anything like that, that requires any type of digging, we always recommend that you play it safe for you and the network and just call 811, give them the information, tell them what you're doing, when you're gonna do it. And we're happy to come out and mark our lines and make sure that you don't have any disruption in service and you keep yourself safe during that. So always, always, always remember, call 811 before you dig.
Right. And that covers all your utilities. So not only
Yep.
your internet, your gas lines, city water lines, all of that good stuff is covered, and it really can make or break the situation. You don't want to have to pay for that repair.
Absolutely. All right, Liz. So that's kind of the meat of our presentation. You want to talk a little bit about support if anybody needs to reach out to us?
Of course, we're available 24/7, 365 days a week by calling in to our regulars 361-771-3334 number. We have after hours tech support. They'll be more than happy to help you. You can also go to our website, and under the contact us section, there is a spot for live support chat and a network status page. So now you can actually go and check the status of our network if you are having trouble to see if it is a widespread issue or not, or if it's just on your end. So always reach out to us any time of day, night. Never suffer in silence if you ever have any trouble.
Absolutely. And outside of just sort of the regular support that you might need from us, anything that we've talked about today, whether looking to optimize that Wi-Fi indoors or outdoors, need to look at those access points, or need just help kind of figuring out how do I turn my home into a smart home, we're happy to help you figure any of those things out.
Right.
So Q&A, if everyone has any questions, go ahead and drop those into the chat. Liz and I will be keeping an eye out for those. And let's kind of get into the promotional offer. Tell us what we got, Liz. That sounds like a game show for sure.
So for this month's webinar, we're offering free installation on whole home Wi-Fi. So our whole home Wi-Fi wireless access points, reach out to us and we will come out and get those installed for you at no charge. We'll do a free site evaluation if you'd like to do that first, and then we'll deploy the service for you. So definitely a game changer. Most of us here at YK live in our service area, and we have these devices and products. So I can tell you firsthand that they do work and they work well.
Yep. So if you want to take advantage of getting a jump start on that, go ahead and give us a call and get to save on the installation for those.
Right.
Our next event for the month of May, we've got Family Tech Time, parental controls, and safe internet for summer. So kids got a lot of downtime during the summer. We're going to talk about experience IQ with the parental controls. We're going to talk about Bark to monitor for cyberbullying, just anything around keeping your kids safe on the internet. So be sure to check us out. If you know somebody with young kids, be sure to tell them to join us for that event in May. And we've got our closing and gift card drawing. I don't see any questions that are in the chat, Liz. I think we're good to go. And we have got a $25 gift card to Jackson Street Coffee and Market in El Campo, one of our favorite places that we like to
Yes.
go. And so let's do the drawing for that one, Liz. And it looks like our winner today is going to be Wyatt. So Wyatt, if you want to give us a shout, we've got your gift card. Come by the office and happy to give that to you, or reach out and we'll find a way to get it to you. Anything else you've got, Liz, for getting ready for spring?
I believe that is it. Just don't hesitate to call us, reach out if you'd like us to do a free site analysis, and we'll be happy to help you.
Great. Yeah, and enjoy spring before it turns into that scorching heat.
Yes, that we all know so well.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks, everybody.